On the outskirts of a small town, where nights were especially quiet and gloomy, there was an old cemetery. The locals called it the Cemetery of Shadows, as if after sunset, the shadows of the dead gathered here to whisper among themselves about long-forgotten secrets. But no one knew for sure whether this was true, because walking there at night was dangerous business. One late autumn evening, a young student named Ivan, returning home from a party, decided to take a shortcut through the cemetery. Moonlight barely penetrated through the thick clouds, and the air was filled with dampness and cold. Ivan walked quickly, trying not to look around, but suddenly heard a strange whisper. At first he thought it was the wind, but the sound grew louder and clearer. Someone seemed to be calling his name. Ivan stopped and looked around. Around him stood old gravestones covered in moss and lichen, while beside them swirled shadows that moved like living beings. They swayed, twisted, approaching him as though they wanted to say something. The student felt cold sweat trickling down his back, and his heart began to pound wildly. "Who are you?" he whispered, trembling with fear. The shadows continued to move, merging into each other, forming bizarre shapes. One of them separated from the rest and approached Ivan. It resembled a woman in a long cloak, her face hidden in the shadow of her hood. "You came," she said in a hollow voice that echoed throughout the cemetery.